Same leadership role where I chose discipline, and really right about the same time where I read my name on the inside of a porta potty wall out at Yakima Training Center. My company commander, my boss, and I came back to what we called the cantonment area one afternoon, I think it was, to meet with our battalion commander, his boss. And the battalion commander was on the phone, and so we had an extra 20 or 30 minutes, and my company commander said, hey, let's go to the Oasis. So the Oasis was the hamburger joint. So the cantonment area was where you would live when you weren't out training in the field. You'd take a shower. There was a shopette where you could buy candy and stuff. And then there was this hamburger joint. And as we kind of walked up to the Oasis, it just didn't feel right. I can even remember going between like these two arborvitae trees and thinking, we shouldn't really be doing this. Now, it wasn't immoral. It wasn't unethical. My company commander wasn't doing anything wrong. But I just knew I had 70-some soldiers out in 20-degree weather who were eating crappy food on a daily basis. And I was about to walk into a 72-degree climate and eat a cheeseburger. I went. I didn't know exactly what to say to my commander. And so there I am, 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, eating a cheeseburger, and the phone rings. And I think I only heard it kind of subconsciously. Someone called out my name as Lieutenant Crandall here. And I'm like, why would anybody call me? So I must have heard that wrong. And then it comes again. Hey, is Lieutenant Crandall here? And this short order cook with truly the white hat on is holding the phone up. And I walk over and I grab the phone. And I mean, right as I'm grabbing it, I'm thinking, who is calling me? And it's my platoon sergeant. So like my second in charge, the senior non-commissioned officer with years in the Army, who's like my advisor, teaching me how to lead. And he asked me some sort of innocuous question, and he didn't even need to know the answer. He was just wondering where I was. Like he'd found me eating a cheeseburger in the warm Oasis. And my stomach sank. Like I just knew I'd screwed up, and I'd screwed up big time. He probably went back and he's like, hey, I found him. I found the LT. He was eating cheeseburgers at the Oasis. Like who knew what they wrote on porta potties after that? I ended up actually telling the story in a book where I authored a chapter and went back and forth with the editor who just didn't understand why this was such an enormous failure. And I think if you lead, if people are following you, you understand that I'd let them down. Like I'd violated their trust by being warm and well fed while they were out training. And we have gone through thinking about the leader growth engine, that you don't learn leadership in a classroom or in a virtual classroom, that we don't believe you can do that. But you also don't learn leadership unless you reflect on experiences and you reflect on some of your worst experiences. Dr. Husted at the outset shared a couple really tough experiences for him. I mean, admitted like that he overdosed one of his medics with morphine. And I just want to make clear, like I worked for Tom. He's the best boss you could ever have. Like I gave him one of the world's best boss mugs from the office because like it's true. He was promoted early twice in the Army. Like he's in the single-digit percentage of Army doctors. Like that's how good a leader he is. He commanded a hospital for NATO. And yet he's sharing this story like, hey, I didn't even know what I was doing here because that's how you learn from it. And so we're going to ask you to reflect on this question. What has been one of your biggest failures as a leader? Think about that. Tell the story to yourself. But then what did you learn from it? More importantly, like take that moment to reflect, be honest with yourself along your journey. And what did you take away from one of the toughest moments you've had? So take some time, reflect on it. What did you learn from it? And then we look forward 100% to seeing you again. And before we do that, we're going to take you out with some of our participants who have been here with you, sharing one of their biggest mistakes and what they learned from it. What's been one of your biggest mistakes you think are failures as a leader? And then what did you learn from it?
Yeah. I remember when my teachers at the beginning, I asked them to do something and they didn't do it. And I thought, they're not listening. What do I do? And so I thought, well, maybe if I get angry and I show them that I'm angry. So I went out and I spoke harshly to them. I said, ah, figuring maybe that would make them like, oh, made her upset. Yeah, that didn't work. They just said, oh, it's probably her hormones because of her pregnancy. You know, what's wrong with her? Instead of gaining any level of respect, I lost it. I realized that being angry or being a bossy leader wasn't going to really get their respect. I needed their respect and their loyalty more than trying to make them be fearful of consequences. That was really bad. It was so embarrassing that day. I walked away and someone's like, it's because she's pregnant. And I was like, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I was trying to make them be fearful, but didn't work.
As a leader, maybe the biggest failure I had, the biggest struggle I had was as leading the family. A couple coaches gave me some ideas, and one of them said, you need to put a sign in your garage when you pull in that says Dad's home. He said, your daughters don't need coach home, they need Dad home. And I got to be honest with you, I mean, there are days I probably sat in the garage because I said, I'm not going to get out of the car till I'm Dad. So I like grinding the steering wheel for like 45 minutes before I could make the change. But I had another guy said to me, he asked me just real point blank, he said, these kids get the best of you, Bruce. Does your family get the best of you or the rest of you? And very honestly, it's one of the reasons why I went back to coaching and teaching junior high school from college and high school. Is my junior high school schedule, the games are in the afternoons. You didn't practice on weekends. You didn't practice on holidays. You were home every day at 5:30. They deserved the best of me, not the rest of me. And I'm not sure there were times that I did a very good job of that. And that's a hard thing to admit.
Get up and go, put your body in gear. You're in control, so grab the steering wheel. Open the door, find a new frontier. Get up and go, get out of here.
So, on this journey, when did you first feel like a leader?
I can tell you I didn't feel like a leader many times. And I remember investing in this school for a few years and getting to a point where I thought, I've given it all I have. I'm done. I have nothing else to give. There's these hard questions and I don't have an answer for them. But one afternoon, after I went out to some conferences looking for new opportunities, and I came back and I was able to share new things with my staff, I walked down this hallway and as I was walking down the hallway, I heard one of the very few times I've heard God's voice really clear say, stop saying you weren't meant for this. Stop saying you're not the right person. I know what I'm doing. I placed you here and I know why. And that was the day I stopped questioning my role. Because so many times I thought, I'm not cut out for this. And as time has gone on and I see people take on the vision of the school, the vision that I had to start with, and they run with it, I think, oh, I do have leadership. I've been able to transmit what was in my heart to them, and now it's in their heart as strong as it is in mine. And that's where I think leadership is, when you transmit your passion and your vision and others take it as their own.